This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. Rob is nursing a hangover from seeing Metallica and Pantera last night. Rob is about to be 40, so he felt like he needed to go do an activity where he could feel like the youngest person in the room. Our IP Livecast starts now.
Rob, you saw Ken Pantera?
Yeah, I saw Ken Pantera at the Pantera show.
I didn't know that was happening. Was he signing stuff? Did he look okay?
Yeah, he was signing people's parking tickets as he was allowing them in because he's a parking lot attendant.
Oh, wow. Okay. Like Mike Ehrmantraut?
Welcome to our IP Livecast. Gotta take it slow today, boys. I had some drinks last night.
Oh, no. You hungover.
I'm not really hungover. I'm surprised. I made sure to drink a lot of water, to have like some food when I get home. So I'm doing okay.
Glad to hear.
But as a 40-year-old, as a near 40-year-old, as 1 month, under a month until I turn 40.
Wow.
I'm feeling it.
You got to be careful on these Friday nights. You know, we have a show to do. You got to be very professional, Rob.
Well, I'm sober now, and by sober I mean, I took a few hits of weed to feel alive, feel something.
Does that help
you out?
That helps.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Hangover?
I mean, like, I'm not really that hungover. I'm exaggerating for the show, but
I see.
when I was hungover back in my drinking days, or my binging days, I should say, not so much drinking. It definitely helped in the morning. Yeah, but yes, I did go to see Metallica and Pantera and Mammoth Wolfgang Van Halen. On
Is that how it's said,
night.
or do you just say the letters?
Yeah, no, you just say the. I think it's just Mammoth. Like the letters are silent.
Oh,
It's like
really?
Well, because Mammoth was the name of Van Halen before they were Van Halen, before David Lee Roth joined the band.
Oh,
And
I did
so
not
it's
know
kind of
that.
like a tribute to
I
his
didn't know that either.
father, kind of like a BCAD kind of thing, except without the religious connotation. I would
Okay.
assume. Anyway, it was really fun. My friend messaged me a few days ago saying he had an extra ticket and wanted to see if I'd like to join him. My first question was, where are the seats? Because it's a stadium. Like, going to a stadium concert is far more of a commitment than going to a theater, like a 2,000 cap room.
And it's a stadium in New Jersey.
Exactly. And the show aligns with you having to drive in rush hour, which is like rush hour in New York. I very much avoid. It's the worst time of the day.
But especially on a Friday.
Exactly.
This is like the worst time for you to do this
The
drive.
stars have aligned for a panic attack in your car.
Uh-huh.
And so what on the way back was a 35-minute drive. On the way there was a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because and most of it was in Midtown Manhattan. And look, this isn't a fucking traffic show. We'll check into the Buffalo in a moment. But it's like once I get to Midtown, and you have to get to Midtown, you have to get between 34th and 42nd, which is Times Square. It's like the busiest part of Manhattan. And you are going into the heaviest concentrated area. There was a moment where I was like, oh, okay, it's a little standstill traffic. Let me check my phone for a second. And then I look up and I'm like, I've been sitting here for 10 minutes. I haven't moved. I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here. And I found another route. It was intense. But then even when you get to the stadium, it's like 15 minutes of driving around just to get to your parking spot.
Did you have reserved parking, or is it like chaos?
No.
First come, first serve?
First come, first serve. My friends were already there. They had parked in an earlier slot, so most of the spots were taken, and most of the entrances to that gate were closed by a barrier, a steel guard or whatever, a steel guardrail. And I found one entrance where it wasn't closed, and And then so I just got in there, and I happened to find a spot by these people that were tailgating and taking up way too many spots.
Yeah.
So bless them for saving me a spot. And then I met up with my buddy Seth, and we actually ran into a bunch of people I knew, including my good friend Jose Mangan.
Oh no!
Oh, I don't know. It was great.
I
see
thought
him.
he was
looked great.
West Coast.
He was West Coast. He flew out for these shows. This is the kickoff, the North American kickoff of the Metallica 72 Seasons tour with.
I love Jose Mangan.
I do. It was great to see him. And I guess we're streaming on Twitter today instead of Twitch. I made a little mistake. I just noticed.
Oh, good job.
Oh well.
Does that matter?
A little oopsie.
Should we just cancel the show?
No, we can keep going.
We could go on. All right.
It's fine. But what was I saying? Before
Jose Mansion.
Jose. I saw a few other people. I saw my friend Brian from Rockfeed. And a bunch of people I saw in the parking lot. And then there was great people watching as well. A lot of people tailgating.
Well, hold on. When you're talking about your friends, your friend who hooked you up with the ticket, is this an industry friend? Was this a ticket he paid for or got for free?
Oh, no. I paid for these tickets. And
You paid for the ticket.
Well, I paid for my ticket. No. I paid for the ticket that he gave me. I mean, not for the whole.
Full price?
I don't know. I asked him
No
what it was.
markup?
No markup, for sure, no. Well, he had the combo, I think, because it's a 2-night event.
Uh-huh.
Metallica are doing 2 nights in each stadium. It's only about, I think, 8 cities across the country, and a stop in Montreal.
Sorry, Guillermo.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to the Nebraska Stadium.
No day aside on this.
Yeah. So right. I was saying, like, where are the seats? The seats ended up being pretty good. They were in the 200s, but
Was that also
was
the
like-
price tag?
No, it was only what is it with you and finances, Sid?
I'm
These are
curious
very-
how
these are
expensive the show was.
Uncouth. Well, I could tell you a combo ticket for that in that section was probably like 300. And I definitely paid less than 150.
I guess that's not the end of the world. 2 nights.
Yeah,
for
but
300
like
bucks?
yeah, but then like if you wanted to get floor, it's like 450 basically. 4 or the 100s is like 455, like somewhere around there.
Was there like a pit in the floor, like a general admission, or was it all seats?
Yeah, the general admission. The floor is standing. And then within the floor, there is the snake pit because it's a round stage, and then the center is hollowed out, and so fans can go in the center and stand there.
Okay. And is it easy to get out of there, or like are you stuck there for?
Yeah.
the duration of the
There's
show?
2. Well, like there's 2 ends of the circle that are a little elevated, and that's like the tunnel to get into the snake pit.
Okay.
And so it was the stage was really massive, to the point that I feel Pantera, who went on before Metallica, they clearly were not experienced playing around stage, because they would just hang out at like one part of the stage for an entire song, and then one person would walk around, and then they would kind of do their laps. But it was pretty. Pantera. I came in with no I actually had a curiosity. I was like, oh, what's this going to be like? This is something that has been wondered about for so long. Something that I stopped caring about. I stopped caring about once Vinnie Paul died, because I was like, okay, now it really is like, who cares? When it was Dimebag, I was like, okay, like it's obviously not going to be the same, but it could be a really cool tribute to him. There's plenty of great guitarists that could fill in. But then once Vinny died, I was like, okay, that's it. Like, it's just, I don't care anymore.
It's not Pantera anymore.
Yeah. And look, Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benante are phenomenal musicians. I am not criticizing and they did amazing, especially Charlie. Charlie held the whole thing down. It was very impressive to watch him. But the whole thing, I came in with middle of the road expectations, I guess, not positive or negative, and I ended up being sorely disappointed. It was not fresh. Phil's voice was good. He's a smart musician, as we've discussed previously, where he knows his limits and his range. But because of that, there were huge chunks of songs where he would be like, "Let me hear you." And it's all the high parts.
You gotta pay me some of that fee you're getting for this. I'll sing. But we actually got some of the soundboard here. I don't know if this is.
Hey, the song ain't
done.
I must
Wow, he does
during this one.
He does sound good, actually.
Every fucking time I think it's out of my head. God damn it.
He's very auto-tuned, it sounded like. And I'm surprised he said no diggity doubt. He's trying to use like urban slang, I think, to appeal to the people he offended by saying white power.
The other thing that really bothered me is I could not hear Zach's guitar for shit. It was like the Rex Brown show. Every riff, I would only hear the bass. Like it was as if Rex Brown was like Hulk Hogan. He was like, "Brother, you got to turn me up, brother, and turn him down." This is all about me. No, I don't know that that's
depending on the side of the stage.
Oh.
So I was wondering also maybe it's because it's an open air arena and I'm relatively further up. But no, I looked at footage from my friends that were closer, and it sounded just as like bass. It was all percussion. There was no guitar. Like you hear the drums very clearly, very loud in the mix. You hear the bass, no guitar. It was so hard to get into. The other thing is like, this is, I guess, my first time seeing Pantera, and they were always described by friends of mine who would go as a very dangerous band to see live, in the sense that their crowds are maniacal. But I did not see that here.
Well, I mean, that was like 25 years ago. Yeah,
right. Exactly. It was like, oh man, these are just like, everyone's just old.
And also, this wasn't their headlining show as a Metallica.
And I do not think Pantera translates to a stadium setting. It's such a, like, they're kind of a hardcore band, you know, like their riffs are there's like breakdowns and like there's moments that you would find in a hardcore song, and it's just like without the intimacy and like the sweat of even like I said, a 2,000 person venue, something is really lost with their delivery and presentation. And I don't mean that necessarily as a knock. I'm sure they got to make their money, but overall, I was very disappointed. It wasn't just me. My buddy was also. I'm gonna throw him under the bus with me, but and it sounded low. It was like if I was in the car, I'd be like, turn up the volume. It sounded, and again, I was wondering if this was maybe because of my section, but absolutely not. The moment Metallica came on,
what about Mammoth?
Sounded better. Mammoth sounded fine, but
weird.
But also Mammoth, I'm not as familiar with the music, you know, so I can't really say like what I was missing.
But but just sounding low or not, you could.
Yeah,
you don't need to know what
it was clear. No, it was.
Maybe it's supposed to sound low though.
I want to almost give them the benefit of the doubt that because this is their first night on this stadium tour, maybe there were just sound issues. But you have to think they had a thorough sound check. Like this isn't some fly-by-night show. This is a tens of millions of dollars show, you know, where like this is a pro as pro could be.
This isn't Perp Walk doing Havana. I can't hear the singer's voice. Turn it up.
Exactly. Also, the set looked crazy. I remember one of our listeners went to the first show in Amsterdam. Do you remember who it was? I think it may have been the Shifty Shortcake.
Okay.
It might have been. And he was talking about the set, and at the time I was like, oh, like I usually care about those things, but I'm like, oh, that's it, like for a Metallica, whatever. But it is really fascinating how everything is kind of put together and connected, because they have to construct the whole thing, the lighting rigs, the speakers and everything. So all of it is kind of, they have these 4 towers that have video screens on the top of them. And then everything is kind of connected with wires through those towers. It's like they built a little mini Metallica city with the stage and everything. They must have spent a pretty penny on that. And I can't imagine breaking that down and setting that up every week. You know, that's a process. And that's something like, this was top of the line production. Metallica. Once Metallica came on, it was like, okay, this is why I was like, so I realized I have a cell phone attention span rule. It's like, I will not look at my cell phone at the start of a band until I reach a point where I'm no longer engaged. I'm like, okay, let me. And like for Pantera, it was like 4 or 5 songs, but the sound quality really started annoying me. And then I got distracted a little bit. But
Now,
which is not
is
to say
this
I spent,
only when you're seated, or if you're like in the general admission, you'd also start checking your phone? Does that make any difference?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm
Huh.
not looking at porn. I'm
But
just like checking Twitter or whatever.
I guess, I don't know. I feel like I don't think I do it when I'm standing in general admission at all. I feel like it's disrespectful somehow. But if I'm seated, somehow it feels slightly different and it's more okay.
I'm
Maybe
usually
that's
up
just
to the
me.
back. I understand what you're saying. I don't want to like it's not like you're in a movie theater. The lights are much
It
brighter.
sort
than
of
the
feels
stage.
that way, though. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
But with Metallica, it
the
did
phone
not happen.
screen, the phone light fucks with the other people watching the movie when you're in the movie theater. I don't think it
Yeah.
matters when you're at a show, right?
Yeah,
Does it?
yeah, exactly.
I still get annoyed when I see other people do it, so I don't want to be one of those people.
But do you get annoyed on principle? Like you just say "fuck you" while you're looking at your phone, or is it like you literally can't? The light is fucking with your experience.
It's not as much that it really fucks with my experience. It's like a brief distraction. It's like for that 1 or 2 seconds when all of a sudden there's a light and I look over to see what it is and
I
then I'm
see.
back. But even that I feel like is annoying enough that I could hate that person for the rest of my
Okay.
life.
Well, that's
So I don't
fine.
want to be that hateable person.
You like to hate people, though. That's
Yeah.
your hobby. It's all right.
But I don't want to be one of them. So
Agreed.
I have to
That's-
follow
you don't
my
want
own
to.
rules.
You don't want to be what you hate.
Yeah. Rob, so what was Metallica's first song? Do you remember what they opened with?
It was "Creeping Death," which was a great song to open with.
That's what they
and-
opened Woodstock '94 with.
And I
Okay.
love the motherfucker they throw into the live version of the song. Like
Motherfucker, die.
it's just a part of the song now. Let me pull up the set list.
Oh.
Was,
You made me think of something now. Did they? Was there a goodbye? Was there?
thank you for reminding me. I actually recorded it.
What?
And I have to say, Fade to Black live, it's like, wow, this is such a great song. You know,
No question
look,
about it.
It's not like I've consumed my fair share of Metallica. I haven't regularly listened to them in a few years. Like regularly meaning like put on a full album, front to back, and whatever. But I have digested it. Like I know all of it, so it's not like I needed to prepare for this. And hearing some of these songs, it's like you almost forget about how amazing they are. And it's like, oh, and it just brings you back to moments in your life when you were listening to this music religiously, and it's a very nice feeling.
And that goodbye, by the way, to any of our listeners who are not Metallica fans, is not in the song. When he does that goodbye, it's not in the studio. That part is when he goes, say goodbye. That's all stage banter, like added for this. Not stage banter, but like a live, something they've adopted live, like motherfucker die. Now he just has to do it.
I need a moment for it to process, but not my emotions, the video.
While we have a second here, I want to tease something that I thought of. I thought of a good Chuck Klosterman question that we can go over later. So before it goes out of my mind, I wanted to say that, and you can now continue with your story.
Okay, so here's the so they started with Creeping Death, then Harvester of Sorrow, Holier Than Thou,
Great song,
King Nothing, which I was like, oh wow,
great song.
Yeah,
I love that song. That's like the only really one of the few songs from that era that I really love.
Then they had to stick in 2 new songs, 72 Seasons and Darkness. What Darkness Never Dies or whatever it's called.
They didn't play the single?
Well, they're going to play it on Sunday because they're not repeating any of these songs.
Okay.
And then after they made us suffer, they gave us Fade to Black, which was a true crescendo, high point of a high watermark of the set.
Now, before proceeding, let me ask you. So they played these 2 bullshit songs from the new album. Did they sound any better though live? Maybe they sounded better live.
72 Seasons, I thought, It reminded me of our listen along, which you can watch or hear on our Patreon, where we listen to the whole album. But where it was like, oh, this part is good, but it's like, is the song done yet? Like, let's go.
You
Like,
couldn't trim that fat off for this fucking live show,
Right.
you jerk offs.
They took a little too much time. Then they played Shadows Follow, which I guess that's another new song. Yeah, that's another new. So they played 3 new songs, and I was like, all right, come on already.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay $200 for this.
And then it was Orion, which okay, cool. Nothing Else Matters, which it's one of those eye-rolly, one of my least favorite Metallica songs, but in a live setting,
Got to play the hits.
It was really nice. It was really nice, I have to say. And Kirk messed up the intro.
Oh no! Did they yell at each other?
No, well, he was the only one on stage, so he laughed about it and then he started over.
Oh, sometimes James will make fun of him for like fucking things up on the guitar and bully him.
There was the only like James banter that was notable was him talking about writing Fade to Black so many years ago and still being in love with the song, which I thought was really
still being suicidal. I thought you were gonna say.
Oh no! Well, maybe.
I heard he peeped Pantera's set that they played the Spectrum 1 song, and so he played the IO Digital Cable song just to one up them. Is that true?
No, there was no IO Digital. That was after.
Fuck.
That was like the outro song. Because they play AC/DC Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll beforehand. So and then out at the end of it they play IO
Digital Cable.
So that's Sad But True, which that song was made to be played in a stadium. Like such a good song. The Day That Never Comes. Again, I was like, come on. But then I realized, wait a minute. This song is awesome. It sounded great. It sounded great live, especially
not a good album, but that's a good song.
Yeah, the part like right where it kind of really picks up, and then he goes like, "Love is a 4-letter word."
Yeah, that's like
like that part. I was like, "Oh wait, this is great."
And then you went, "Wait, 1, 2, 3. Love is a 4-letter word."
Oh my God, he's right. He's right.
But look, that is to me, that's the good version of the stupid shit he says on Stanger. That's like the good, like
yeah.
Something that sounds profound, and then it kind of is too.
Then there's Battery, which was great. Then there was Fuel, and at this point, I'm like, all right, this is MetLife Stadium. I have been warned by numerous people that you do not want to get trapped in the parking lot. Let me take a quick peek. Let me see, because by this point it'd been over an hour and a half, and they played 2 hours, 2+. I was like, let me take a quick peek at the set list.
Oh,
and
I thought you were gonna say there was like a Buffalo traffic cam set up outside.
That would be amazing.
No. Let me take a quick look at the set list. So I looked at their last shows overseas from a month ago, and the set was very similar on the first night to this one. And so the only 2 songs left were Seek and Destroy and Master of Puppets. And I want to say, like, Master of Puppets was one of the songs I wanted to see live. But as an adult, you have to make decisions. Do I want to see Master of Puppets live and get stuck in traffic for over an hour? Or do I want to leave maybe 3 minutes early and get the hell out of here? I think you guys both know what decision I made.
Yeah, but 3 minutes early really gets you out that
absolutely. Seek and Destroy was really fun. They dropped the Beach Balls, blah, blah, blah. Master of Puppets is a 6-minute song. And really, like, after the first minute and a half, I was like, okay, I got what I needed. Do you want to get out of here? Like, I got, like, the master. Yeah, great. Okay, I want to go. I don't want to. And so I get to my car. By the time, because also it's a schlep from the 200s even to get to your car.
Did you walk or run?
I walked.
Come on.
Did you speed walk?
It was a speed. It was definitely a speed. It was like
Olympic
a power
speed
walk. It was like a Manhattan Midtown kind of pace.
Was there
walking.
other people doing the same thing, or were you pretty much alone?
There were some people. There was a trickle, but then by the time we got to the parking lot, by the time we also had to walk from where we exited to our gate, which was still it was like a half a mile. By the time we get to our gate, the show is over, and then I just look back and you could see
it's like a zombie movie.
It's exactly, and it's like, oh, we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here. And
all the guys with male pattern baldness shambling towards your general direction.
So even by the time I got to my car, there were so many people just crossing to get to their car, like walking to their cars, that it took a few minutes just to get out of that area to get onto a road. And I could only imagine if I waited 5 or 10 minutes more. And it's like, I felt so great. I felt like I just committed a successful bank robbery. You know, like I did it. My Google ETA is 30 minutes. I'm going to be home.
I just pictured like George Clooney in a hotel room somewhere, plotting out the exact second you're supposed to leave. So you can beat the
once you hear the second master, we got to go. We got to go.
Honestly, you were even tempting fate staying that long. You should have left before that song even started, really. I wouldn't have even trusted waiting into the
if
that's why he's so proud of himself. He found the perfect formula. Exact notes to
down
leave
to
on.
the second,
It's like the brown note, except for leaving.
It's the ultimate Irish goodbye. It's the Rabba goodbye.
So did your friend, were you driving your friend or did you
No.
bail on
I
your
parked
own?
in the same, no, we left together because we parked in the same area. Because if you recall at the beginning of the story, I had to find a spot in his parking lot. So we were just.
But he was
right
okay
next to each
leaving
other.
early too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That was the best part about it. I was like, hey, I'm ready to go whenever you want to leave. He's like, I don't need to. I've seen Master of Puppets. And I was like, I love you. Let's get out of here.
This is like, it's considering how many 55-year-olds there were in this crowd. I'm shocked that they didn't all do the same thing and ruin your strategy. Whereas my formulation would have been, I'm going to stay in here all of Master of Puppets and every encore because these old motherfuckers are all going to beat a trail doing the same exact thing you did.
Well, that was it. They don't do an encore.
Really? For $200 a seat? Really? That's crazy.
I mean, they gave you 2.5 hours. How much more do you need?
I don't know,
They just
man.
don't do that little pause and then come back out. They just play the whole set.
There were 4
I appreciate that.
Yeah, there were 4 interludes.
So let me ask you this. If there was a pause before the last 2 songs, would you have stuck around or would you have just left then?
I would have considered leaving then. Yeah, absolutely. Just because I was already at that point where I was tired. I had been there for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm an old man now.
Don't blame you.
I felt this was an old man show. And as someone who is about to turn 40, I recognize that this is going to happen more and more to me. But just walking to my seats and just seeing the people in my area, it's like I'm not necessarily the youngest, but I'm of the youngest.
Yeah.
And not including, of course, there's families, there are teenagers, but all the other things.
You're the youngest person who went here of their own volition and not just because mom and dad bought you a ticket and you feel obligated.
Yeah. Or because you love your parents and they're trying to force you to do something within their culture.
And they said they'd get you a Taylor Swift ticket if you came to the show with them.
The cheapest ticket is $100, so it does kind of price out younger people. Don't necessarily have that kind of disposable income. So there is that as well. But even beyond that, like when you're going to a stadium, you are accepting you are going to get gouged. The parking was $40.
Oh,
a drink is $15.
Like water?
No. Water was like $5, but like a mixed drink.
Oh, well, that's not crazy.
The water is crazy. $5 for water.
Well, actually, MetLife has some very fair policies. You can bring in a closed 20-ounce bottle of water, a sealed 20-ounce bottle of water, or an empty plastic bottle and fill it up as much as you want. So you don't have to be trapped. And you can bring your own food as long as it's in plastic packaging, like a Ziploc or something. Everything just has to be see-through.
Did you bring like a nice charcuterie board? You just
oh my God! Imagine just setting that up in front of everyone.
Little tray table.
Just having one of those mini spread knives for the cheese for the chèvre. Spread some chèvre on a cracker.
You should have done that.
Next time.
And then James Hetfield would have pulled a Draymond. It's like, who's this motherfucker eating a charcuterie board out here? Is that Chevra? The fuck
I would have finished it during Pantera. There wouldn't have been any left by Metallica.
No, if it was David Draymond, he'd be like, "There's Trafe up there on that charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Get that prosciutto out of here."
He wouldn't even see you. He just, I smell pork.
Fuck out of here.
It was really fun to walk through the parking lot because it was like a little Metallica village. And you know, like the vibe in the room was it wasn't quite blue. It was definitely not blue. It wasn't quite red. I would say somewhat purple, a reddish purple vibe, because there were people tailgating with, they had a pirate flag, 2 pirate flags, and then a thin blue line flag and a thin red line flag. What's
that one?
Firefighters, but it's like, who's disrespecting firefighters?
Cops. The only people who disrespect firefighters are cops.
There's no AFAB, right? There's only ACAB.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I don't understand that one, but bless their hearts. Everyone had a good time. I can't imagine going back tomorrow. That was, and not even, like, the show was good. Metallica was great. I would see them again, but the surrounding experience is so uncomfortable. And there were people, so a bunch of guys from my BJJ class were going, so we were all talking about it. And one of them, he said he left at noon. He was like, I was experiencing his anxiety just from him telling the story. He's like, I want to get there early, get a good spot. I don't want to like worry about it. Then we could just hang out in the lot. And
seriously,
I was like, what are you spending 5 hours in a parking lot for? Get out of here. I want to spend 5 hours on my couch.
Well,
that's
Metallica,
good for you,
bro.
though, Rob. Oh, go ahead, Darren.
No, I was done.
It's good for you, Rob, because that time that he's on the road and then in the parking lot is time you're practicing BJJ. You're going to kick his ass next time.
No, that guy crushed. He's a purple belt.
Oh,
I got nothing on him.
More incentive to beat the shit out of him. There you go. Work harder.
He makes me. It's great. I really enjoy. I love rolling with the higher belts. They humble me.
But do you have less respect for him now, knowing how early he left for the show?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he less intimidating to you now because of that move?
It's kind of the opposite thing. It's more intimidating because it's like,
because he's crazy.
This guy thinks he can get away with going to 12 o'clock and he can choke me out, motherfucker.
You saw him rocking out to 72 seasons. That makes you know he's mentally unstable.
Okay, we can't extract this clip because I don't want him to somehow see this. But he like, what's so funny? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty pumped, you know. So because the openers on the first day are Pantera and Mammoth, and then the second day it's Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills. Ice Nine Kills.
I know where this is going.
Ice Nine Kills is like a pseudo Five Finger Death Punch, except their gimmick is they write songs about horror movies. They're like a horror metal, like horror active rock, I would say. You know, they have a song about like Freddy or like a slasher song, and all their videos are like mini horror movies.
How many albums can you get out of that before you run out of?
They're one of the hottest acts.
Wow. All right.
Right now, so they're blowing up. But he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go see." You know, he's like, "Yeah, I want to get there early, get a good spot, do a little barbecuing, just chill, go in and see Pantera." He even had early entrance. He bought the early like. Why do you want to hang out for 2 hours in a state? Like, I don't want to judge him. It's like, hey, if you want to do it, great. But between the three of us and all of our lovely live casters who will not report back to him.
What's his name again? I forgot. What did you say his name was?
No.
Did Jose Manchin have early entrance?
No, we went in around the same time because we were tailgating. I was tailgating with him a little bit.
What did he make tamales?
He was no someone. We were just smoking and drinking, but like someone came around with like one of those aluminum trays. I was like, "Hey, does anyone want some meat?" And they just had tons of sausage and rib leftovers.
Ooh.
Like I would have, but I made sure to eat beforehand, so I was already so full, and I was wearing a white shirt. Like, this is a recipe for disaster. I am going to pass, as delicious as that looks. But so back to he's like, yeah, so Pantera on Friday, and then we got FFDP opening on Sunday, and you got to be in there for that. And it took so much restraint to hold, like, I don't know if it's like laughter or like shock, or I had to, yeah, cool, man, I hope you have a great time. And it's like, hey, people like Five Finger Death. I'm not going to judge this guy. But for me, it's kind of comical.
I've met like kind of normal people that like Five Finger Death Punch. And like not just meatheads, like just regular people that just like Five Finger Death Punch.
But
that's weird.
That's who likes them. That's who would like them. It's because they don't seek out music necessarily. And Five Finger Death Punch is accessible enough where it reaches these people, and it's like, oh, this is better than Taylor Swift or whatever. Although, is it?
No.
Also, this makes me really glad I didn't go to the Beyonce show at
Was that an
Giant
option
Stadium
for you?
the week before. It was an option if I wanted to pay a lot of money. But I'm sure I mentioned on the show, like, I love her most recent album, Renaissance. It came out last year. One of my favorite albums of the year. And I've been obsessed with it. And she's got me into so many artists just based on me looking up the producers of certain tracks and then listening to their stuff and then going down these rabbit holes of like queer house music and stuff, like DJ Honey Dijon. But anyway, I really wanted to see her show, but the prices for 2 nights of Metallica are cheaper than 1 night of Beyonce.
Wow. Now, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, she's significantly a bigger star, but also because she's such a big star, she started her tour in Europe as well. And YouTube knows I am a huge Beyonce fan. So they kept recommending to me these 4K bootlegs of her concert. So I've pretty much seen the entire show in every quality possible from every angle. And it's like, I don't need to pay $500. Like, I know the entire set list. I know all the looks. And I've already gotten into it. So
you don't have to hang out with the other demographic of annoying 45-year-olds like after you did it at Metallica's show.
I would say the average age is probably significantly lower for the Beyonce.
Really? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think a little bit lower, but maybe
no.
Not
I think gays in their 20s do have disposable income.
But I think Metallica has their own segment of 20-year-olds. Well, I wasn't going to say gays, but yes. But also like
their name is Rob.
I think there is a whole slice of population that's like 20 to 25 that likes both Metallica. Oh, one likes Metallica and the other likes Beyonce. But I think in general, it skews. They both have older audiences, I would say. Like older millennial audiences probably would be more Beyonce, and like Gen X would be more Metallica. But I think it still skews older. I would think.
I think that Beyonce is much better at getting newer fans. Like, I'm sure
that's fair to say.
There's far larger portion of 17 to, I don't know, 25-year-olds that are Beyonce fans than Metallica.
But she's still like a brand new artist compared to Metallica. They got what, 25 years on her?
I don't think 25. She was in Destiny's Child, like mid 90s, right? Like
late 90s, I would say. But they were early 80s, so
so like 15, 20 years of a head start. So
I'm just saying
the average age of the audience would be that gap.
But I'm just saying, 100% Metallica has an older audience. But I'm just saying the Beyonce audience is not spring chickens, is what I'm saying.
Fair.
Sure.
Taylor Swift's audience probably younger than either of them.
Oh my God, right? By a lot. And she's like the same age as Beyonce, right? Or
no, she's got to be.
She's a generation younger.
10-ish years younger.
Oh, 10? Yeah. I wouldn't have gone that far, but okay.
Let's see. Taylor Swift, 33. Beyonce, what is she, 41, 42?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's in her 40s for sure.
41. So 8 years. There you go.
I was off
Not a
on
huge
that.
gap. Rob, do we wanna talk about this Beyonce story that I mentioned earlier?
Oh, what was it?
Did she fart on a
remind me.
video or something? What happened?
It's in the links, Rob, if you want to grab it.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Sorry.
Oh, I know what this is.
This is I feel more close to Beyonce today than I ever have
Oh, that's right.
since I've known who she was.
She hates Cynic.
This is from the Post, so we obviously believe.
But they're sharing from an even less reputable source. But there's
The
pictures.
Sun.
There's pictures.
Okay.
She's never eaten a carrot. Oh.
Beyonce's most wild tour item revealed. She can literally request anything. First of all, of course she can literally request anything. She's like one of the highest. That stadium tour is drawing in like $100 million a night. She can ask for whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So I guess her request is she brings her own personal toilet seats on the road with her, which to me does not sound wild at all. It sounds very
It's fucking brilliant. I would do the exact same thing in her position.
I'm surprised I haven't thought. Yeah, like if I'm at the level of Beyonce where you could request like all red and brown M&Ms not be included in your fucking dressing room. Hell yeah. And you have, tour stuff. Sure. Install your own custom toilet seats on the fucking backstage toilets.
I need to see what the toilet seats look like. Is there in the article, are there any details about the specs on
It
these
looked
toilet
like there was
seats?
only a photo of the bin that the toilet seats are kept in.
Yeah.
For traveling, which I wonder if they're like wrapped in some way.
Bizarre. It says bizarre world tour writer request revealed. It's not bizarre at all. This is a sanitary thing. I fully support this.
Do you see the disgusting people that play these venues? You think she wants to share ass cooties with fucking Metallica's bass roadie? Get the fuck out of here. No.
Fuck you.
It's so funny that's like she can literally request anything, like having a toilet seat changed. Like
it's just such a specific thing. It's great.
In fact, probably I bet Jay-Z requested this so that he wouldn't get his same cooties you just mentioned on her tuchus that he has to touch every day.
Wait, that he has to touch he gets to touch.
Okay, it's figure of speech. Get back. Fuck out of here.
The Post goes on to say that when she was on a tour in 2013, she stipulated that her water be kept at the frosty temperature of exactly -6 Celsius and served with titanium straws and spherical ice cubes.
People like those spherical ice cubes.
I have an ice tray that makes spherical ice cubes. I love them.
What's the benefit? Is it just more of it takes longer to melt, or what's the appeal of the spherical?
I'm no scientist, but I've noticed that my drinks stay colder longer, and my theory is that there's more space for the water or liquid to go around the cubes and sort of swim around and rather than this, they sink to the bottom and then the top portion is left uncooled. I would say that there's a nice balance because how the cubes don't stack perfectly. It's like sort of makes this asymmetrical pattern, and then stacks through your whole drink, and the water slips between it.
I've seen it like fancy bars and stuff. They'll serve drinks with this, but it's like it's almost like the size of a baseball.
No,
like it's one big ass ice cube. Yours is not like that.
No, they're like little pebbles like that.
Okay.
I have a smaller version of those ice cubes, Sid. I prefer that. I like there are these.
You like the big balls.
I like the big square balls.
The big square balls. What? Excuse me.
Well, it's like square ice cubes. It's a square, not like the traditional ice cube trays where it's like kind of curved on the bottom. Because I feel like those melt right away. But these square ones, if you put enough of them so that the ratio of ice cube to liquid it really keeps it cool. And I've gotten through the drink without the cubes melting, which is big for me. I don't want it watered down. I just want it cooling.
Fancy.
I just saw that Beyonce requested trapezoidal ice cubes. I don't know if that's a big scandal, but
that's
came over the wire.
What if she gets ice cubes in the shape of the toilet seat? What if the toilet seat is actually made of ice? She slides right off.
That'd be great. Well, that would prevent you from maybe catching the same ass tuchus as John Bon Jovi's bassist or whatever. I don't know.
And then at the end of the night, the toilet seat's melted. It's gone. It's no waste.
That's
Literally. No waste while you're making your waste.
Beyonce doesn't make waste. I don't believe that. She just sits on the toilet for appearances.
And those spherical ice cubes plop out of her. They just go into somebody's drink.
Yeah. That's where we're getting the ice cubes.
Yeah. We got to be very careful. If we say one bad thing about Beyonce on this show, we'll be ended for life. So we got to keep it very positive.
You saying she has bots out there?
No, she just has very loyal, real fans who will destroy you.
Oh, I thought we were going to get a Beyonce strike for speaking bad about her.
Well, maybe that too.
I don't think I think we're saying very glowing things. We defended her toilet choice.
I'm just saying, let's make sure we don't take
I love Beyonce and with all my heart.
Sure. Yes, lay it on thick, bro. Go ahead.
Not enough to go see her play, though. But
yeah. Yeah, you watch bootlegs, right?
Pirating her
performances. Too expensive.
Stealing her life force.
You admitted to that.
It's true. Hey, her people could take those videos down.
Her people? What does that mean?
Her staff.
Oh. Be careful.
Fucking tyrant.
Sure. Also, the concert and the most of it, like she's doing fine without my $500 for the concert. The shows were all practically sold out.
Practically.
I think they were sold out. It was all the secondary market. So sorry for not making a scalper some money, Sid.
I hate to break this to you, Rob, but bands that make lots and lots of money do tend to still pursue their copyright and other types of enforcement. Just so you know.
Go for it. It's not illegal for me to watch a bootleg.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, why is she going to care? She makes lots and lots of money. They care.
Yeah.
That's why we get copyright strike.
No, that one person, me, didn't go to her concert. That's what I was saying.
Oh, I thought you meant that you were bootlegging.
I wasn't bootlegging. I was watching a bootleg.
That's how it starts.
To bootleg, I would have had to gone to the concert.
They might not see a difference there. I'm just saying.
Why are we talking about Nazis all of a sudden?
Well, the thing is, though, if Rob gets in trouble for bootlegging, Darren, you're going to be the one arrested anyway. So.
Hopefully that only applies to weed, but we'll see.
Well, while we're on the topic of live shows, Dave Mustaine had two wonderful, separate but equal comments recently. First, he was talking about the concert trend of throwing objects at artists. Darren, I'm sorry. Dave, if you could pull up that quote.
Yes, I want it.
Where was it? I guess BB Rexa was recently
there was a
hit
bunch
in the head
of
by
people
a
that got
cell
hit.
phone, and like it hurt her. Like she actually got hurt. But
she's fine.
So Dave has weighed in on the troubling behavior trends in younger audiences at live music shows, including throwing things at artists to catch their attention. If people don't like you, they're going to throw shit, Mustaine told Sweden's SVT in a new interview. Maybe it's graduated from Rotten Tomatoes to dildos. I don't know. But if you're giving them a great show, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So don't get up there acting. He did say it twice. Don't get up there acting like a spoiled fucking brat, telling them not to throw stuff. Mustaine added, I don't have to worry about it. Plus, my eyesight is that bad, I probably won't see anything flying through the air until it's too late.
So that means he doesn't have to? Doesn't that mean he has to worry about it twice as much?
Yes, I have people who will protect me.
The CIA. Little drone strike that shoe as it's flying at his face.
Exactly. But that's such a conceited, like, they're only throwing it because you suck. Is that really accurate? There's just crazy people that will throw things.
Yeah, that just want to get attention.
And hasn't he had something thrown at him? Does that mean he sucked that day? Or, like, what? Wasn't there a story where he...
Yeah, I feel like he's walked off stage for... like bad security or something,
right?
You know,
or even
like
less than things being thrown at him. Just like an insult was thrown at him.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
walked off. What a liar. He's such a
He's
narcissist.
a liar.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's.
Is that your Henry Rollins impression?
That was exactly what that was. So then 2 days later, this video footage comes out of him just very weirdly reacting to a heckle. So let me cue this up. There we go. He's doing a middle finger.
You say you can play as good as me? Fucking, I'd like to see. Shut up. Just shut up now.
Bring him up
15
then.
seconds. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
All right, calm down.
You've had your second. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. All right. If I have to say it one more time, I'm going to ask the security to take your fucking drunken ass out of here. Do you hear me?
Why
Like
not
he's
just
not
play
drunk.
better, Dave?
Yeah. Take the tips when they're offered.
See, that's what happens when cousins fuck.
I feel like he won the crowd back by saying that.
Yeah.
For a couple of seconds there, it was very uncomfortable.
Is it
You
just
know?
me, or is his hair in this extra orange and his beard extra white?
I noticed that.
I think it's
like
the
a
cell phone camera, though.
He looks like a
It's just the way
Muppet.
Yeah. Or like Wendy.
definitely.
It's very much more intense than like in his cameos or whatever.
But I thought he had the crowd when he did the first "shut up." You know, he was like,
And the middle finger.
yeah, and then he did like 4 additional "shut ups." Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. Then everyone was kind of looking around like, what's wrong with this guy?
I think at that point they were like, "Is this just going to be the rest of the set? Is him yelling at this guy?" Like, it was funny for a second, but like, let's go.
An hour later, he's like, "No, you shut up."
There's like 18 other bands scheduled to play after you. Can we get on with this, Dave? Please.
I'm gonna go
Right?
sit on
This
my-
was at a festival, right?
Was it?
Let's see.
They don't headline at the festival.
Eh,
No, this was one of their own shows. in
Oh.
Sweden.
well,
I'm
then,
gonna go
I
sit
guess
on
you
my
did.
gold leaf toilet seat. What are you gonna do?
I wonder if you request that. Or I wonder now that this story is out, if more artists are like, "Whoa, you could do that?"
What you could yell at people in the crowd or have a gold leaf toilet seat?
change your toilet seats. And
I certainly was not aware of this. Beyonce's opened me up to a world of possibilities here. Bring a toilet seat, like when I'm working at some horrible outdoor venue, and like I have you have these tiny either porta potties or like disgusting shit houses that you have to use sometimes. Bring a toilet seat. It's a great idea.
And nobody's gonna fuck with the guy on the subway who's got a toilet seat just
Yeah.
on him.
That's a
They're
great
gonna,
point.
you're gonna give you a wide berth.
Imagine you just put a toilet seat on the subway car and but you're shitting right onto the seat. It's just going through a circular object. What's the big deal? Listen, leave me alone. This is how I like to do it.
Yeah.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
I mean, you got to pull that. That's going to be.
This is what happens when cousins fuck.
Just shut up now. You've had your 15 seconds. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Shut
All right, you've had your second. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the
Shut up.
It's like, Dave, you're the only one
If
who
I have
can
to say
hear
it one
you.
more time.
Yeah. He doesn't
Time I'm gonna
think
ask
about that in the moment. Like he
Yeah.
just hears only that guy. The entire crowd is shut out. Shut your mouth. You're mean. I
Security
don't
to
like
take your
you.
fucking.
You make me feel uncomfortable.
The Metallica Fade to Black video has processed.
Ah.
So
Oh.
let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Rate this
Oh.
goodbye.
Ooh. There we go. Goodbye. Woo, that's a new one.
I marked out so hard.
I never heard him do it. Woo. Woo, goodbye. Goodbye.
So good. So good.
Gorilla grunt there. Goodbye.
Oh, there was a third goodbye. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that one. And that ooh goodbye was classic. Maybe in the coming weeks, let's see if the soundboard of this emerges.
Yeah,
get
they
a
said
cleaner
they-
copy of it.
If anyone's part of the Metallica Vault, where they actually post the soundboard, you can subscribe to their website and get the soundboard of every show we've ever played. Basically,
I want that gorilla goodbye. Must have.
Someone pass it along.
Ooh,
There was a great show.
You think that was because he was like, let's just say he was not at the height of his vocal range during this performance? Maybe he took it down a notch and that resulted in this guttural ooh goodbye.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I was noting before it got up to that point, like the beginning of that video, he's singing very flatly, I thought.
Maybe that's just the best he can do at this point.
I've heard recent ones where I thought he sounded good, actually, but I mean, could have just been an off night, or maybe it's deteriorated since I saw that.
Rob's got the real unfiltered audio, not that sweetened shit you're hearing on social media.
Yeah, jerk off.
Fucking tyrants.
I'm very disappointed to hear. We got a newer concert that he did, and it just does not sound good. It's awful.
Hey, the song ain't done. Let me tell you a little bit about Spectrum One.
This is the new Rod Jeremy belly button.
Yes.
Wait, could we have both at the same time?
Sure.
Rob, could you?
Oh, one moment.
Just let's bring it all in at once.
Yeah, rip off
Why
the
not?
Band-Aid.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh no, I'm scared. This might be too much for me to.
Hey, the song ain't done. Let me tell you a little bit about Spectrum One. No diggity, doubt the best deal in town. $49.99, how that sound? Coming with the internet, the surface stream. Speed so fast, feeling like a dream. 300 Mbps. With this kind of speed, you'll never stress. Free appearance, Wi-Fi to stay secure. Yeah, I said free, that's for sure. One free mobile line, unlimited. Call right now, gotta get with it.
You got to plug the Ethernet cable right into his belly button.
Oh, there's a slot for it. That's true. This may have given a generation of people epilepsy, I feel.
Oh my God.
Suddenly I like that song more now that I have something even more horrible to compare it to. Hey, this belly button ain't done.
He's pulling it out like a magician pulls the little handkerchiefs out of his sleeve. Just more and more belly button.
Gonna make that poor girl's father wish he had a son. Hey!
Oh my God. Is Ron Jeremy still in jail?
He doesn't know it if he is.
Let's see.
He thinks he's on a set with Bunny Blue right now.
One
Very
day
nice
ago,
reference.
porn star Ron Jeremy charged with 20 more counts of sexual assault.
20
Jeez.
more? Wait, so
Yes.
in addition to what he was in jail for? Or is that
wait,
old?
never mind. I'm sorry. It's old. It's from 2020 for some
Not
reason.
that it matters. I'm sure there's enough counts to keep
Yeah.
him in jail for the next 12 weeks that he's going to be alive anyway.
The last thing is that he is declared not competent to stand trial, and he was committed to a mental health facility.
So that's the same story.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Well, speaking of somebody that should be committed to a mental health facility, Rudy Giuliani is in the news
again.
Well, a bunch of transcripts came out in this Trump thing, with Trump being litigated, and there was apparently something with him and one of his mistresses, one of his lady friends. Before we do that, I do want to.
Whatever his name
Oh,
is.
No,
no, it wasn't me.
Okay.
But I want to share this recent photo of Rudy.
That's not real. That can't be real.
I saw this too. I thought this
Looks
had to be
Humpty
like
Dumpty.
AI. Like Sid mentioned Dorf on golf. Like this was someone typed in Rudy Giuliani as Dorf.
I don't know. I think it is real.
Where did you find it?
On the most reliable source for information anywhere, Twitter.
Wow. I think I'm still gonna say fake, but it is enjoyable.
Is he that fat?
Yeah, that's that's my objection to it. Is not that it looks cringy and weird. I believe that, but he's more of a slender weird to me.
Well, folks, good news. It's real. It's damn real.
Wow.
Here is further screenshots.
Well, see, he doesn't look that thick in this one. See, that's what I'm.
There is, in fact, video.
Oh no.
Looks like a normal old man if you don't know like who he is in this photo.
If you want to have a really nice conversation, or a birthday greeting, or just talk golf,
looks like he's jacking off.
Go to the link below.
What is that? Hit a ball when
Rudy
you do
Giuliani, if you want to have a really nice conversation, or a birthday greeting, or just talk golf,
it's a cameo?
Go to the link below.
Hey, you know how you could.
Here's the photo.
You know how, I believe
it still
you.
looks a little bit slimmer than.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what's what you know how you could really get him in
You're
trouble?
Right. It is altered.
Yeah.
Sad.
Somebody hiked the pants up, but then made them longer. Also.
And they took like 6 inches of his neck away.
Yeah.
Just made him. They just retracted his neck. I feel like you could get him in a lot of trouble by ordering a cameo for your 12-year-old daughter or something. And he'll just do a 6-hour like come on video.
Well, so these audio tapes were submitted as evidence into this Trump federal trial, and in it there's one of him and a woman, Noelle Dunphy. This is from a sexual harassment trial, actually. And so here's him with the bedroom talk.
Yes.
He tells her, Jewish men have small cocks because they can't use them after they get married, whereas the Italian use them all their lives so they get bigger.
So Jewish men never cheat on their wives? Is that what he's saying?
I guess
But
so.
Italian men do?
Or Jewish wives don't fuck, I guess, and Italian wives do.
It's news to me that your penis gets bigger the more you have sex. Is that a fact?
I guess.
He might just have an infection. It might be some swelling.
Fucking staph
Here's some
infection.
more. Giuliani railed against how the Jewish people, quote, want to go through that freaking Passover all the time.
All the time. Well, you can do Passover every Tuesday.
And how they should, quote, get over the Passover because it was 3,000 years ago. The transcript reads, okay, the Red Sea parted. Big deal. Not the first time that happened. Then this next line in the article is amazing. Giuliani doesn't elaborate on other instances where the Red Sea parted. He talks about Matt Damon being very liberal, and he calls him the F-bomb.
How does Matt Damon come up in like pillow talk conversation? I'm so confused.
Well, she probably brought him up.
Yeah.
And this is an actual man that she might find attractive. Were they actually having sex, or did this take place in like was he courting her, or was he just assaulted like she was minding her business filing papers or something?
Well, here's an exchange that will answer your question. Come here, big tits. Come here, big tits. Your tits belong to me. Give them to me. I want to claim my tits. I want to claim my tits. I want to claim my tits.
I got a ticket right here. It says pick up on Thursday. I got it. He's like the guy arguing at the laundry.
These are my tits. Miss Dunphy responds, oh, yeah. Giuliani responds, these breasts belong to me. Nobody else can get near these, okay? I don't care if they're flirting or they give you business cards. These are mine. You got it?
They gave you business cards. What?
Miss Dunphy responds, yes. Mr. Giuliani, understand? I'm very fucking possessive. I've gone easy on you. I don't know. I've been easy on you. You're pretty tough on me. I've been easy on you. Give them to me. Maybe.
Sid, I have to pose this question to you.
Okay.
In all your 40 plus years of life, have you ever said to a woman, come here, big tits?
I've thought it. I've never said it. I've never had the courage to say it.
I've said it to some men. Come here, big tits. No.
I've thought of a woman.
I said it to myself in the mirror.
like I've thought of obviously a woman with endowed with large breasts. I might have some thoughts in that direction, but I would never use that as a moniker for a woman with big tits. Is my point. I don't know how that gets in there. That's her name now. Come here, big tits.
I don't understand why he thought that business cards being given to her would be enough of a reason for her to give the big tits to someone else.
I've got stationery. He wraps his dick around a letterhead.
Oh, that's probably why it's swollen. He's got all paper cuts.
Death by 1,000 penis cuts.
Oh, so gross.
Big tits. That's like such an unsexy way to talk about tits, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Come here, big. It's like a man who does not in any way like women at all, except that he's attracted to them physically.
He sees them as objects.
Utter contempt.
Yeah.
Big tits. Come here, big tits.
These tits belong to me. Do you understand? These are my tits.
These tits were made for Stuppen.
Oh. It's
very off-putting.
It's
really like you don't think that someone like Rudy Giuliani can become more off-putting, but then you realize what you're seeing in his public persona is like the tip of the iceberg. Like when the Borat movie came out, it's kind of the same thing. Like you're seeing him in his natural habitat, as opposed to, there's only so much you can do to curate, how you look to people when you're Rudy Giuliani. So it's still going to be repulsive, but you realize he is doing a lot to curate his image.
Or at least he used to. I think less and less.
Maybe so. That's true. But I would argue he's still doing a lot, because this stuff is still kind of shocking, bro.
I think the shocking part is that any woman would be with him. That's like where I'm like, he's actually, and it's like a young woman. I guess it's just like a power move. Like she thought it was going to be good for her career. So I can't imagine she was actually like, ooh, let me get Rudy in a room alone.
Well, there are people who do fetishize like old withered men and stuff. I mean, it's not like, not to shame anybody, but there are people who do legitimately like that, but I would agree with you, Sid. I would bank on, if I had to put money on it, I would say she's benefiting from this relationship in some way, other than romantically.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
And I don't mean to say she's a sex worker or something, just like, this is a famous guy and maybe her career could be advanced on. I'm just theorizing.
He's like, behind that door, I've got a room full of business cards. You hook me up in here and I'll hook you up back there.
I mean, I can't believe she just wants his brajol, I can't believe that. I refuse to believe that.
So gross. Just so gross in every way.
Wow.
One other story I'd like to discuss before we start winding down is a post on the Tool subreddit.
Speaking of tools.
Well, you'll hear it. Dear Reddit, I am in a dilemma. So me and my wife are getting married, unfortunately, on the 3rd of October, which is the day Tool will be in our town of Loveland, Colorado. So I told my wife I don't want to be married on the 3rd.
Who did he tell?
My wife!
Thank you.
So I told my wife I don't want to be married on the 3rd because Tool was in town. That led to the worst fight of our lives, and she went to go to go live with her parents. I was like, she went live on Instagram?
Yeah, we'll do it live.
She went to go live with her parents, and it seems like all of her relatives are on her side. What should I do?
Apologize.
Yeah, don't go to the concert. Or wait, did the concert already happen?
No, it's in October.
It's October 3rd.
Yeah, then don't go.
It seems like 2 months before the wedding is a little too late to reschedule the wedding.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they were going to like City Hall or something.
And I want to let you know something, Tool fan. Tool will tour again. They really like touring. There will be other opportunities. And they're not even as fun to watch live as they were like a few years ago because they play too much new stuff.
You should have sat down with this guy and set him straight, Rob. Oh, if he had just, followed this show, he would have known all this stuff.
I refuse to believe that the new stuff sounds that different from the old stuff. Don't all Tool songs sound more or less the same? Really?
No.
Perhaps, can I speculate something here? Maybe we're misinterpreting the story, and the real reason is not because he wanted to postpone the wedding, but this is the first time she found out he was a Tool fan. And that's why she doesn't want to get married.
That I could believe.
Isn't this similar to this? This is like the opposite end of the story from a couple years ago where the lady was like, my husband likes metal, so I bought him tickets to Nickelback, and he was upset.
Right.
Remember that when we talked about that one?
Very much so.
Yes.
And he was probably a Tool fan. So this is like the other end of that kind of a story. I like that we get it this way now.
It's come full circle.
Yeah.
Not perfect circle, you might
We should
say.
introduce those couples.
What if they're the same people, actually? Imagine. He's like, my wife got me Nickelback tickets, and I didn't want to go. And then I saw the Tool was in town, and she wouldn't let me go because she wants to get married. Rude.
Well, how about my wife got me tickets to Nickelback, and I was so upset that I divorced her. Years passed, and we reconciled. We were going to get remarried, but then Tool booked a show that day.
Oh.
And I wanted to go because I'm like, see, this is a band I actually like. And she's like, no.
Just teach her a lesson. He only remarried her knowing of Tool. He scheduled it on that day on purpose.
It was a spite reconciliation.
Yeah. Fuck you, lady. Does Maynard G. Krebs does he have his own toilet seats?
Probably brings his own toilet.
Yeah. Oh, he installs a whole toilet at every venue? That's actually
with a bidet. He likes those bidets.
That's going way too far. That's beyond Beyonce.
Well, let's talk about our Spotify.
Oh, wait, I want to do my colostrum.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. That's right.
So here's my question. This just was a shower thought to me. So you have a device, and the device allows you to fast forward through any situation as long as you want. The outcome will be the same. You won't remember your participation in it. And you can do it for a second, you could do it for a minute, or you can do it for a year. But you could use it for any reason you like. If you just go into some event that you think is going to be boring, you can just fast forward for 2 hours. But here's the consequence: you will be closer to death. But it will just subtract that time off your life. You won't die sooner, but you will have a gap in your life, and you won't be able to get it back, and you won't remember anything that happened during this time. Would you use this device? How often and for what?
So wait,
I'm a little confused.
You're not going to age faster.
No,
you would age as if it happened in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not saving time, but you're not. It's just okay.
Right. So you would let's say you're going to your child's shitty school play, and you know it's going to suck. and it's an obligation to do it. And so you just fast forward for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be would you use that for anything greater than that, or would that just be the extent of your like small usages?
What would be greater than that?
I don't know. You want to get through school, and you want to fast forward 4 years.
But if you don't remember anything that happened, then you're not actually learning anything. So you're done. You have a diploma, but none of the actual education.
Right.
Which could be problematic depending on what you want to do.
Agreed. That's the dilemma.
I take my mom to doctor visits every few months, and those can be all day. So I would definitely fast forward those.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny that you say that, Sid, because the first thing my mind went to is like, oh yeah, hanging out with my mom. I would just like it's an obligation, but I don't want. It's always triggering, and I don't want to remember it. So this would actually be perfect, because we both get what we want.
I already know what this is anyway. I don't need to have another experience with her to do. Now let me add a twist to this. What if it did take time off the back end of your life? Like you do this for 3 hours, you're gonna die 3 hours sooner. You do it for 2 days, you're gonna die 2 days sooner each time.
So in addition to the actual 3 hours, you die an extra 3 hours sooner.
Right. Let's say you remember. Let's say you go through it. You remember everything. You have the full lived experience of what you would have done, but you die that much sooner. However, you fast forwarded.
I might still use it, but I'd be much, 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 much more judicious.
Yeah.
Obviously.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I obviously don't want to shorten my life, but maybe I would do it like once I get to the point where in the hang with my mom where I am feeling triggered, then I'd be like, all right, brain is turning off.
The other thing is, like, if we're just subtracting from the end of our life, we might be like bedridden fucking invalids anyway. So cutting off a few hours of me being a vegetable that's free money.
True, but we could also not, though.
But the way I take care of myself, it's almost a certainty that I'm going to be a fucking vegetable at the end.
Fair point.
So that's fine.
Okay. That was my little question.
Be hooked up to machines and shit.
You could outlive all of us. You never know.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you guys are like on the way to a wrestling pay-per-view and get into a car accident, but I think that would be the only kind of scenario.
Well, what if you, at age 50 or something, you have a change of heart and you just become like a fucking vegan and just start exercising every day? You don't know. It's 5 years from now.
But the story with that is always like, oh, he finally started turning his life around, and then the fucking elevator fell on top of him.
Sure.
Oh,
could
happen.
So sad. But I want to point out, when people say that, the elevator can fall on top of an unhealthy schlub too, like any of us. I didn't mean to call us all unhealthy schlubs. I'm sorry, but just saying relative to like, someone who actually goes to the gym all the time.
Well, that's you guys. I'm the unhealthy schlub.
All right. Well, I wasn't picking on you. I don't go to the gym enough to consider myself healthy. Let's put it that way.
It's all relative. I'm still at the bottom of this ladder.
Well, that's don't stand under the ladder. Your chances of. Yeah. I never thought ladders were bad luck. I just think someone's going to drop a paint can on you. That's the
problem. or a deuce.
Yes. Do you shit on the ladder? Is that in Beyonce's writer? Shit on ladders? I can only shit on a ladder. That's why she's considered a diva. She can only shit while on a ladder. With a Jewish man underneath.
The toilet is like elevated. When she shits, she has to be above everyone else.
Ah. It has to be a Jewish podcaster under the ladder while she does it.
Sorry, Ben Shapiro. So you have a podcast? He probably has a podcast.
Yes.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
There you go. All right.
He sort of stylizes it, though, as though he's on television somewhere and hosting a real talk show, but it is a podcast. Yes.
Rob subscribes.
I gotta say, your problem. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can't listen to him for more than 5 seconds at a time. Like his voice
His voice is what I was just gonna say. I have the same problem that Sid has with RFKs. That is just you can't. I can't take anything Ben Shapiro says seriously, even if it's something. Let's say there was some 3% stripe of things that we agree on. It coming out of his weaselly voice.
Agree. To the point that I lose respect for people if they share something that he said or something like that.
Right.
Well, you would do that anyway, but who do you know that's sharing Ben Shapiro stuff?
Just like celebrities and stuff. Not personally.
I've seen like clips where he says something like, I'm like, all right, he's still a piece of shit, but I agree with that one point. And then I'm like, but I would never show this to anybody.
Fucking Pinocchio sounding motherfucker.
Even if they didn't know who Ben Shapiro was, just that this like grown man child that's like 5'4" and like looks like he looks like an old young boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He looks
Absolutely.
like if Pinocchio aged.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. It's like it's so unserious. Like his whole presentation is so unserious. I don't mean to shame anyone for being like on the shorter side either. I just mean like that combined with he still has boyish looks, but he's just such an old looking man. It's very strange.
He's got big elementary school kid who brought a briefcase to school energy.
That's 100% correct. Alex P. Keaton.
Yeah.
We don't mean to shame anybody short, but we do mean to shame anybody who listens to Ben Shapiro and likes it.
Well, because that's a choice. Your height is genetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go through our Spotify picks. Each week, we each pick a song. We throw it on our Spotify playlist. You can search for it. It's called the RIP Livecast Music Break. There are over 36 hours of music in the playlist. This week, I picked Cold Cave. Cold Cave, a great new goth rock band. Goth
Is that
wave.
the guy from American Nightmare?
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, Wes Isel. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool. I really, really like Cold Cave a lot. I got into them last year, or maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago when I was in like LA, I was listening to them so much and enjoying it so much that I had to tell myself to stop, or else I would like hate them because of how much I was like I didn't want to overexpose them to myself because of how much I enjoyed them. And then I just recently saw that they were on tour, and I got a ticket for September. I paid for a ticket, Sydney. It's $40, nice. Very reasonable.
Yeah.
For Webster Hall. And now it's given me an excuse to like re-dive back into them, and I love them so much. I can't wait to see them live. So I picked Cold Cave.
Nice.
Sid, what did you pick?
Well, before I get to my pick, let me just do the RIP. And again, I can't remember the last time RIP wasn't for like a cool dead celebrity. But two for this week were Paul Rubens and Mark Margolis, a.k.a. Tio Salamanca from Breaking
also
Bad.
Also a bunch of Darren Aronofsky movies.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Which ones?
He was in Pie. He was in Requiem for a Dream. He was like the Coney Island bootlegger that Jared Leto sells his mom's TV to that he gives back to his mom.
Oh, wow. I completely forgot.
Collaborator with
He's had a great career. So RIP to both of those legends.
A fellow member of the tribe.
Yeah, well, Margolis, is a very Jewish last name. Nobody complained that he was playing a Latino, though, on the Breaking Bad series. But
that's how good it was.
I've talked before about how New York City this year, they're doing all this stuff for like the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Yes.
And there's a show, I think, this weekend in the Bronx, New York. And I saw that Greg Nice was one of the performers, formerly of the rap group Nice and Smooth.
Is this the one in Yankee Stadium? Or the parking lot of Yankee Stadium?
I don't know. I think it's like some park in the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
But this is like a lower tier show. But so I picked one of my favorite Nice and Smooth songs. It's the late 80s, early 90s hip hop group, and I picked Sometimes I Rhyme Slow. It's a very good song. Durinsky, what is your
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the show already after Sinead O'Connor died last week.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt remiss in not putting a song up from Sinead O'Connor's oeuvre. But the thing, the backstory to me is that I always kind of put her in the Cardi B type of bin for me. Like I always appreciated her activism and talking about her mental health and stuff, but I just never really vibed with her music that much. And I felt like once that she died, I should go, and that's why I didn't really put a song, because I felt like it would be kind of hypocritical for me to be like, here's this great Sinead O'Connor song, and I'm not really a fan, although I respected her as a person, and a lot of the things she said really moved me and stuff, but I didn't, and her mental health struggles and all that. But I was like, why am I going to play a song? But then I started kind of listening to her music, and there was some good, like, she's very much more sonically, she has a lot of more variation in her music than I thought that she did. I thought she was sort of like pop and ballads, and really that's about it. But there's like a lot of electronic stuff. There's a lot of punk influence stuff,
Really?
reggae. Like, yeah, if you get like, I wouldn't say she's doing straight up punk songs, but like it creeps into the music, you know? So anyway, the song that I played is a cover of All Apologies by Nirvana, which was sort of a big hit. I try not to play the hits on here, but it was so good. And she's did that thing that I always say, which is put your own spin on another band's music. And it's a very different sounding version of the song. And it was a big single and a very successful single. But that was my Sinead O'Connor pick. And I'm starting to listen to her more. I'm happy that I can include her music in my appreciation for her, because I was a big fan of her as a human being on this earth. And I found out she converted to Islam late in her life.
Really?
I know that. Yeah. The last like 10 or so years of her life, she was a Muslim.
I had no idea. Wow.
And she changed her name to a Muslim name.
What was it?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll look it up.
So were people like being disrespectful by not using that name when she passed away, or?
I don't think so, because she retained her stage name for like business purposes, to sell records or whatever. Wow. But she also got into trouble. I found out the other day that she when she became a Muslim, she insulted like white people. She's like, I understand why Muslims don't associate with white people, and white people are disgusting. And then she retracted that. Like, I guess she was bipolar, and she had a lot of mental health issues, and she used to say things on the spur of the moment a lot. Yeah. But yeah. So she did.
Shuhada Sadaquat is her Islamic name.
Shuhada Sadaquat, I would say.
Okay.
But she retained her name Sinead O'Connor in the music industry.
Okay.
That was like her personal name, legal name. It's wild, man. Stuff I just uncovered after she died that I never knew about her. I'm gonna read her book next, because she has a memoir that was written not that long ago.
Oh wow.
And of course, if you want yourself a little more Livecast, you can always check out our Patreon, patreon.com/RAPLivecast. $5 a month gets you access to all of our bonus episodes. We have 3 years worth of bonus episodes. We just posted a new one. We do a listen along to the album Risk, which is celebrating an anniversary. Megadeth's worst album, or not worst album, Megadeth's harshest critically reviewed album.
Most disappointing?
Most disappointing?
It could be the worst. It's up there.
You can hear us. We had some thoughts. Check that out on the Patreon, patreon.com/RAPLivecast. Also get a weekly column of TV recommendations from Sid and some other fun stuff in there. And if you want to throw in an extra $5 a month, $10 a month gets you access to being a top Livecast fan of the week. Gets you a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. Let's get through these shout outs.
You got to do it like Rudy.
Eric, come here. People. Show me your tits. Yeah, you don't even have to tell Eric, your tits belong to me, Eric. Your tits belong to Benjamin. Your forearm belongs to me, Benjamin. Dan R. Your humerus belongs to me, Dan R. You understand? Sam, I am. I am very possessive. I am Rudy Giuliani. Mindy Mayes Kipper, that belongs to me, too. Show me your shashusits. Hugo likes tacos. Rudy likes tacos. Extra cheese, please.
Rudy likes that pink taco.
I like that mist. Then we got Lando Danks. Those Danks belong to Rudy. You understand me? And LaCroix. The LaCroix doesn't belong to Rudy. I don't like LaCroix. I prefer a nice vintage seltzer. Vintage seltzer belongs to me. Corey and Scotty H belong to me. Doug Pigman, I am a pigman, and the pig belongs to me. That's why the Jews, they have small penises. They don't eat pig. Douglas, who are you, Levison? Who are you? I'm Rudy Giuliani. I'm America's mayor. You belong to me. Hey, guys, it's Josh. Hey, guys, it's Rudy. These tits belong to me.
Hey, big tits. All right. How about the business cards?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, guys, it's Josh. What? I'm supposed to know your name? You didn't give me a business card. All right, that's our show. We'll be back next week. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.